Chapter 92 Unprecedented Speed of Customs Clearance, Astounding Undersea People, and Rich Undersea Tea. You are listening at Mtlnovel.audio. If someone looks at the fourth-level copy from a higher dimension, you will find that the four seas are like four petals, arching the center of the flower core. The location of the flower core is a beautiful crystal palace. There are countless dreamy blisters floating around it. Even in the deep sea, it shines brightly and shines brightly. Hundreds of meters of giant octopuses and modified whales patrol around. But there was an uproar in the city of King Poseidon. There was a sea king who held a golden trident in his hand and wore a crown on his head, holding royal power in his left hand and divine power in his right hand. He was furious in the Sea God temple. What's going on? The 3,000 warriors in the East China Sea, and even many sea beasts, including the entire city, are gone. I wanted to keep them off for a few days, but not even a minute. A quarter of the world has fallen. We're still at a loss as to what's going on. 99. Thinking of the moment when the East China Sea fell, Neptune's heart ached like being pricked by a needle. The other people at the bottom of the sea were trembling, their faces pale, and they dared not answer. They also received world warnings. In a state of panic, the unknown is the scariest thing. They never imagined that the enemy would have any means to destroy Donghai City in an instant. If the same trick is used on the royal city, will they also be wiped out? Think of this result. Everyone trembled. Your Majesty Sea King, the enemy may have methods similar to divine punishment. I have sent seagulls to investigate the enemy's air force. A beautiful sea queen in a dress of golden scales said. As for the enemies in the ocean, they can't catch their movements at all. It seems that some mysterious vehicle was used, coming and going without a trace. In order to prevent the East China Sea disaster from happening again, I suggest to release the evil beast in advance and let it go to block the enemy. The beast of sin is a terrifying monster that was accidentally born when the sea people cultivated sea beasts. Because its power is too strong, even the sea queen herself can't control it, or seal it with the power of the gods. The high-level people at the bottom of the sea planned to use it as the bottom of the press box to guard the king's city. But now the situation is dire. A group of people discussed whether to release the beast of sin ahead of schedule. While they were discussing, suddenly, Sea King and Sea Queen turned pale and spit out a mouthful of blood. The hearts of the undersea people who were discussing intensely were pounding, and 23's face turned pale, just felt depressed. Seems like something is missing. The West Sea has fallen. 99. When the Sea King said this sentence, the eyes of the high-level people at the bottom of the sea were dark, and they almost fell to the ground. How is it possible? It's only 10 minutes away. The East China Sea is also more than 500 nautical miles away from the West China Sea. Sea beasts are also arranged along the way to block it. A priest dared not believe. What about the guards in the West Sea? There are 3,000 elite soldiers. Can't even get the news. 35. It is now certain that the enemy has mastered the taboo method, can sail at extreme speed in the sea, and can avoid the guards. Just when a group of people were at a loss, the Queen of the Sea suddenly said, before the destruction of the West Sea, a picture was sent at the last moment. 5. She took out a crystal ball. It's a liaison tool. I saw the crystal ball projected a picture. It was the West Sea in chaos, a super dragon beast that saw its tail open its mouth wide, as if it swallowed West Sea City in one bite. The picture stayed, and the white high energy in the mouth of the dragon beast ended. Everyone knows what happened. The enemy has a super sea beast no less than ours. Release the beast of sin in advance, so that it can delay the enemy's footsteps, and it can cause damage no matter how bad it is. This time, Hi-Ho's suggestion was approved by all members. Considering the enemy's agility, they quickly contacted the South China Sea. Let the city lord of the South China Sea be prepared for defense, but never thought, just got in touch. The city lord of Nanhai City said with a bitter expression. Your Majesty the Sea King, I have already seen that dragon beast. 35. Hold on a little longer, and I have released the beast of sin to aid. 35. When Aquaman encouraged him, after the sea, the army has been urgently mobilized to support the Beihai. With the invasion of the sea, everyone felt the decline of the power of the world. The Crystal Palace is a few hundred nautical miles away. the Gigabit sea dragon beast that just arrived encountered a lot of resistance. I saw it from the city of South China Sea, rush out of a group of shark knights, and besiege the Giga sea dragon beasts without fear of death. The sharks here are especially fierce. Su Bai observed it in the dark for a while. It was found that there was a great white shark who was not afraid of death as the lead thousands of bloody sharks to besiege the Giga sea dragon beast, attempt to stop its progress. These annoying little guys, I don't have time to pay attention to you. Tyrannosaurus doesn't have much of a cold for them, but that great white shark has the strength of intermediate gold, and it is more difficult to deal with. In order not to interfere with the movement of the large army, Su Bai informed Alice to let the Air Force throw torpedoes. Meanwhile, the tyrant leads a handful of commandos to snipe the great white shark. This battle is destined to have no suspense. The east and west cities were attacked by surprise, and they were not able to resist for even 5 minutes. NaN, who was prepared and stronger, persisted for more than 10 minutes. After the great white shark was beheaded by the tyrant, the Gigabit sea dragon beast has also broken through the protective cover of the South Sea city, and with its huge body, wantonly destroys the city. From every corner of the body, energy beams rush out. That's all provided by the Quatoa and the like inside its body. Task tip. Congratulations to your men for successfully conquering the South China Sea, and they have now captured 3/4 of the Blue Sea. The sea area of Tainyuanji will be expanded by 1/3, and islands will appear at the same time, and the new marine creature species plus 1,000. Except for mission rewards, each main city will also explode treasures. The tyrant is adept at cleaning up the battlefield. Thanks to the enemy, everyone's water adaptability is much stronger. Ordinary warriors can breathe in the water and are not affected by the sea water. It didn't take long. A card with a half-open shell, and a monster card with a group of great white sharks were dedicated to Su Bai. Mother of Pearl Becca, a special card of unknown level. After use, you can get a group of mother of pearls that can reproduce themselves. By absorbing the essence of the sun and the moon, they will condense pearls. Not only can it be used as a luxury item, but it can also be used as medicine, as a magic material, which is very precious. Great white sharks, S-rank monster card. After use, get a litter of sharks. As transformed magical creatures, they are extremely ferocious and will be the best guardians of the sea. Throwing something new in the sea can also have a catfish effect. Su Bai silently put it away. In the West Sea just now, he also obtained a coral card and a blood jade coral tree as a spectacle. The properties of the blood jade coral tree are very special. If you put it at home, it can subtly improve feng shui. Improve air quality in your home, as well as aura. If it is put on the auction floor, it is estimated that those rich people will go crazy for it. Su Bai intends to use it himself. Creator, the 3 seas have now fallen into our army. Just now, Lishan Pedo beasts found out that there are thousands of sea beasts gathered in the North Sea. While he was thinking, Alice suddenly reported to him. The people at the bottom of the sea did not sit still. Instead, they moved the royal city, descended on the North Sea, and lived and died together with it. At present, the North Sea is full of beasts. According to Alice's report, the enemy is desperate, and all the troops that can be sent are piled up in the North Sea. At present, the forward air force has already fought against the seabirds. It seems that they are not fools either. Giga sea dragon beast, you continue to maintain your speed and set off towards the North Sea. The Murlocs and Dragon Knights are ready for a decisive battle. 5. The Air Force you are leading, Alice, prepare torpedoes and bombs. It is estimated that there will be bombs soon. Take into account the task details. Special mention is made to solve the underwater people as soon as possible. Su Bai judged that the longer the time dragged on, the more cards the people in the sea would have, but he didn't even reach the 4th floor for an hour. It's time for the big battle, already very fast. He didn't even think about it himself, let alone the audience. The college entrance examination has come to an end. 99% of students are eliminated from the field. The candidates who are still alive will get at least 1,000 points for every sea beast they kill. Wang Tsang from the 10th high school has been squeezed out of the 50th place. If I didn't choose hell difficulty, but difficulty, I wouldn't fall for this. 5. Wang Luan, who had recovered most of his life, fell into remorse. Principal Bai has been completely disappointed with him. Hate that iron is not steel. Looking up, Ma Bai, who was on the big screen, led the army to show his might. The jealous fire in Wang Tsang's heart was burning. Seeing the enemy's success is more uncomfortable than your own failure. If I wasn't stimulated by Ma Bai, how could I choose the highest difficulty? Wang Tsang didn't think it was his own problem, but blamed everything on others. A trace of blood wrapped around his eyes. He also realized the problem. After the failure, the students gathered together to discuss the exam questions in 2s and 3s. I am even more amazed at the horror of Bai's 1.7 million points. I don't even have 70,000, the difference is too big. 99. I suspect that Ma Bai is the son of a god who was cultivated by the super god system, otherwise, how could he have such a strong subordinate in just 7 days? Deeply suspect, Su Bai still has no cards. This is not his limit. Look at his expression, he has never panicked along the way, so calm. 99. I didn't expect a crouching dragon to emerge from the small Guangcheng. Many candidates are aware of a problem. I'm afraid there will be a supernova this year, not only the top 3 in the province, I am afraid that there is a chance to win the top 3 in the country. There have been many inquiries from the media in the province. An expert from Jiangnan City, the provincial capital, commented. At present, most of the candidates in Tianji province have finished, and the total score ranking is being calculated. The top ranking of other big cities is only more than 600,000. I think that this year's first place in the province is already a white one. The audition is just a small test. It really needs to be divided into high and low, and it has to be compared in practice. 35. Hearing this, Ma Magi laughed and said. The kingdom of Yen is vast, and many big companies and big families spend a lot of money, cultivating gods from a young age. No one knows how far Su Bai can go. Yes, young people need to be down to earth. Suddenly, a group of teachers in various uniforms walked into the venue, warmly greet the school principals, especially Lao Chen, who was warmly shaken by one teacher after another. They are the teachers of admissions, and when they heard that there are good seedlings here, they arrived as soon as possible. When they know their identities, old Chen muttered in his heart. It's not over yet, so urgent. 95. For the secret connections of various universities, let him persuade Ma Bai to join their academies. Lao Chen just said that he would respect his own wishes. Among them, there are many colleges and universities secretly expressed. If Su Bai joins them, it will definitely give Lao Chen a lot of benefits. Even he was shocked by the benefits offered by many private universities. Old Chen was secretly vigilant in his heart. Some private universities were founded by private groups, and the conditions are not bad, but joining them is equivalent to joining a party. Many people have swelled up, and they want to shake the foundation of the alliance. This is exactly the separatist force he mentioned earlier. Lao Chen decided in his heart to talk to Su Bai about the pros and cons of choosing a college after the game. Let him never be tempted by immediate interests to join a private university. Look, Deng Shi, the dark horse of number 8 middle school, was finally eliminated when he attacked the West Sea. There was another uproar in the audience. I saw the end of a projection on the big screen. A shy male student with a humble appearance came out of the World Tower. As soon as Deng Shi came out, he was surrounded by teachers and students from number 8 middle school. The principal even more excitedly held his hands and sighed. Your mentality is very good, you are steady, you are not in a hurry to challenge the difficulty, but choose the copy that is most suitable for you. Even on the way to the challenge, you continue to evolve your subordinates. 5. Look, your ranking has reached the 6th in the city. When Deng Shi saw the leaderboard, he rubbed his head. I didn't expect the results to be so good. It's all good luck. The teachers and students of number 8 middle school are surrounded by heroes. The other candidates who had been eliminated long ago looked at him in a complicated way. Deng Shi and Wang Tsang are two typical examples, one pursues stability and the other pursues extremes. The results obtained are also very different. 5. Chairman Kai said with emotion. After you go back, you can tell the students an interesting story about this year's college entrance examination, so that they don't make the same mistake next time. The difficulty that suits you is the best. 39. Deng Shi was eliminated, and there were only 240 Bai, Qi Lansu, Shi Qianyan, Mei Wanqing, and Chao Hua from number 7 middle school. On the big screen, it is divided into 5 pieces. The audience looked relieved a lot. Just discussed this. Chao Hua's men, who were at the bottom of the ranking, were besieged by a group of sharks for food and were also eliminated. At this point, there are only 4 people left in the audience. Su Bai alone occupied 4/5 of the big screen, and the other 1/5 was divided among the 3. The 4th level, Ocean World, has great restrictions on terrestrial creatures, and I don't know how many people will be eliminated. 35. There are not many candidates who can see the 5th level every year, especially the difficult ones. Apart from Ma Bai's hope, Shi Qianyan has the greatest chance. She has a huge advantage in this level. The leaders are discussing. On the big screen, Su Bai's forward troops had arrived in the Beihai area. Just getting close, it was already overwhelmed by Wu, and besieged by flocks of mutant seabirds, under the orders of the undersea people, after knowing that the North Sea is the last sea area. The seabirds formed the kamikaze team to use their bodies to resist the advance of the Air Force. Fortunately, the meteor ship and the air carrier have been remodeled just now, and their firepower is very powerful, so that the pipes will not be blocked by the dead bodies of seabirds. But when everyone saw the North Sea surface, they all gasped. I saw that the sea level that was originally empty has now become very crowded. A large octopus with a length of 100 meters, ferocious sharks, killer whales, huge whales, even some alien mussel shells, highly poisonous jellyfish, etc., covered the ocean. If someone cast a net at this time, they could easily catch thousands of seafood. It's no wonder that the seabirds are so besieging the Air Force. If they were allowed to drop bomb torpedoes, most of the North Sea arrangement would be scrapped. The people at the bottom of the sea are afraid that the rest of the troops will be arranged here. Su Bai surfaced and muttered to himself. With intuition, he looked towards a crystal palace deep in the North Sea. Can give up the original position, take the initiative to attack. The enemy's courage is not small. A long-lasting dragon roar came from the bottom of the sea. A huge sea dragon beast emerged from the sea. If it is a mythical version of the dragon, it looks down on the sea level. This is your trap. It's not enough to see. 39. That the Gigagraman roared arrogantly. It feels like it has never been stronger. The 15,000 elite soldiers in its body gave it an invincible confidence. Stupid sea serpent, I will let you know what the wrath of the sea is. See the culprit. In the crystal palace, a sea king wearing a golden dragon scale armor stood up immediately. The trident in his hand shone brightly in the sun, with Neptune as the center. Golden waves rise up on the sea. When the golden waves with mysterious power hit the sea beasts and the undersea knights riding sharks, their blood vessels boiled. Even the entire sea is helping them, suppressing the Gigabit sea dragon beast. Some waves even converged together to form a tornado, which rolled towards the meteor ship and the helicarrier. Reminder, the enemy uses Poseidon blessing to gain home field advantage, increase their own strength by 15%, and weaken the affinity of your camp's water system. Chapter 93. The myth reappears. Su Bai divides the sea, and rewards the fragments of the Sea God Godh. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A red warning appeared in front of Su Bai. The Gigabit sea dragon beast, which was originally able to control the sea water, instantly felt that the sea water solidified. It is difficult to drive, and in turn suppresses itself. The donkeys are running out of skills. 3.5. Su Bai no longer concealed himself. Instead, the one holding the scepter appeared in the air. His body was generous and bright, and he said loudly, "Let's end this battle of the seas. Separate the sea." Su Bai gently pointed at Beihai with his scepter. An incredible divine power shot out from the divine tree and shone on the bustling North Sea. In an instant, the North Sea was divided into 2 halves. Myth reappears. The surging water of 10,000 meters rolled to both sides. Spectators can even see fish, shrimp and shells at different depths on the sea wall. The incredible expressions of the shark man and the sea man are vividly remembered. The seabed that has not been illuminated by the sun for hundreds of millions of years is presented to the world. An incredible avenue to the sky divides the entire North Sea. At the end of Tongtian Avenue is the Crystal Palace. Miracle. Ow. 5. The Gigabit sea dragon beast flicked its dragon might, and its huge body flew like an arrow in the avenue to the sky. Aim for the Crystal Palace. Operation Tyrannosaurus Cover. Under the command of Alice and Audi, led by the 2 flagships, the unicorn beast guards the sky above Tongtian Avenue. and keep throwing mines on both sides to prevent the sea beasts from destroying. Until this time, undersea talent is like a dream. After the sea lost his voice, he commanded, quickly control the seawater and cover it. A gold-level seaman commander with a lightning trident in his hand, riding a blue whale, rushed towards the Gigabit Seadragon beast like the wind and waves. Attempt to stop its charge. Unexpectedly, from the sky, a golden light flashed by. The horns of the NaN EP beast successfully pierced through his body with a slight force. Golden arcs erupted from the two horns, wiping out the boss's vaporized ashes. Sea creatures like waking up from a dream, from both sides of the ocean, submerged towards the avenue to the sky. Attempts to rely on the number of people to form a human wall. The high-level people at the bottom of the sea were panicked, and they had never been so panicked. This move of the enemy leader completely ruined their plan. In order to stop the oncoming Giga Seadragon, Sea King uses the authority to let the whole army launch suicide attacks, just to delay the pace of the Gigabit Seadragon. So, the audience saw this spectacle. Hundreds of thousands of sea beasts of various shapes rushed towards the Giga Seadragon beast, including the seabirds in the air. Regardless of the sniper of the unicorn, they turned themselves into bullets and slammed at the Gigabit Seadragon beast. In an instant, most of the time has passed. Only 10 kilometers away from the Crystal Palace, the Giga Seadragon beast was buried by densely packed enemies. Failed. Whether it is the audience at the scene, the TV set, or even those who watch the live broadcast through the internet, the atmosphere is afraid to breathe. The situation is changing too fast. Everyone didn't have time to think. How could Su Bai have such an equal share of high whaley? Just want to witness a miracle. The miracle is that the Giga Seadragon beast, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of enemies, radiates golden light from every pore on its entire body. Airstrike. Countless water guns and water bullets were shot from the Giga Seadragon's body, annihilate the hundreds of thousands of enemies that surrounded itself. It sprints without turning its head. He opened his bloody mouth and bit towards the Crystal Palace. Leviathan. The Sea King, whose expression changed greatly, shouted the name of the taboo in a hoarse voice. A sea snake's tail several kilometers long swept towards the Giga Seadragon beast. It turned out to be a super sea snake surrounding the North Sea. Its body is so long that it surrounds the entire sea. At this time, entangled in the Gigabit Seadragon beast, it immediately blocked its offensive, didn't wait for Aquaman to breathe a sigh of relief. A golden light, like a meteorite entering the sea, slammed into the head of the super sea snake again. The golden light is not big, but the movement is shattering. Let the sea snake collapse again and fall into the depths of the sea. The blocked Gigabit Seadragon was naturally released. I haven't waited for the sea snake to react from being attacked. In the depths of the sea, suddenly there were super large tentacles in the depths. With lightning speed, he grabbed the sea snake. With a slight force, the snake bone snapped. The super sea snake tumbled desperately, turning the entire North Sea upside down. However, he couldn't get rid of the entanglement of tentacles. Instead he got deeper and deeper, until it was pulled into the depths of the sea. What's the matter? Where did the tentacles come from? Is it a big octopus raised by people at the bottom of the sea? How do you attack your own people? Infighting. The sudden rise of the undersea behemoth made the audience bewildered. It can't be a native monster. Just now, in the third stage, when the Lord of the Iron Fort fell, it was very strange. Now it seems that this tentacle monster shot. 5.it was President Kai on the high platform who saw the clue. Su Bai has cultivated so many murlocs, so why can't he cultivate a monster of Shanghai? But where did he get so many resources to cultivate such a big tentacle monster? The principals were talking. Some people even joked that Principal Chen was hiding deep. But he never thought about it. He was also dumbfounded. The little guy is so good at hiding. The audition is almost over, and only the tip of the iceberg is revealed. What does the tentacle monster look like? Everyone did not even see the appearance of the Lord of the Four Seas. It has been found that the super sea snake has not moved. The Beast of Sin, one of the biggest trump cards, was pulled away by the enemy. Sea King and Sea Queen were shocked. When you see the Giga Seadragon beast with the destructive energy gathered in its mouth, it opens its mouth wide. They know it's too late. The original strongest last move, too late to use, was stillborn, with a ray of destruction rising from the ocean. The city of Poseidon was bombed. The god of power, the beast, and the tyrant led the people to kill the rest of the party. The Giga Sea Dragon beast spit out a head of Kodo fish, and the Temple Dragon Knight cleaned up the battlefield. It itself is too serious because of consumption. In one breath, it degenerated into the most primitive Destruction King Dragon form. Let the subordinates can't believe their eyes. Everyone didn't expect it. The Armageddon is over so quickly. The main reason is that the Sea God technique is too sudden. So many of Sea King's arrangements are unnecessary, and when you hear the task completion tone, Su Bai smiled slightly. Not a drop of my divine power was wasted. Congratulations on successfully completing the 4th layer of the ocean copy of the college entrance examination. And the perfect breakthrough of the Poseidon King's city, causing their evil plan to resurrect the Poseidon statue to be destroyed. Task completion points plus 300,000, sabotage plot plus 100,000 additional points. Your total points have now reached 2.15 million. Ranked first in Guangcheng and first in 100 cities in Tianji province. Bai didn't expect to give 400,000 points in one go. Resurrection of the idol. No wonder the task reminded me that the sooner the better. It was really delayed, and there were variables. The water of the 4 seas is fading fast. This symbolizes that the 4th layer copy is rapidly disappearing. Others are happily cleaning up the battlefield. However, Su Bai noticed that in the ruins of the Crystal Palace, a golden shard was fleeting. Just as it was about to fade with the sea, Su Bai grabbed it decisively. What surprised him was that the golden shard seemed to have wisdom and would hide. It wasn't until Ma Bai used the power of the world that he was able to catch it. What is this? Su Bai looked at a golden bead in his palm and felt a trace of law contained in it. It touched his heart. Poseidon Godhead fragment, a strand. The hidden reward of the 4th stage of the college entrance examination audition will only be condensed under extremely harsh conditions. After using it, you can turn your priesthood to Sea God. The sea in the world has skyrocketed, and the affinity of the water system has been greatly improved. Marine creatures such as fish and seaweed will be favored by the world, and the effect of cultivating water system creatures will be greatly enhanced. Is this thing a Godhead shard? Su Bai's pupils shrank. I have seen its introduction on Luna for a long time. It is the most precious treasure of a true God, and it contains many incredible treasures such as divine power, priesthood, and laws. Whether it is self-integration, or into their own world, can make a huge difference. If you put it at the auction house, it is estimated that it will be at least hundreds of billions of dollars. If you meet a buyer with similar properties, you will definitely be photographed desperately. However, Su Bai's current priesthood attributes have not yet been determined, and the ocean is only one aspect of him. If you integrate it now, I'm afraid it will limit yourself a bit. After thinking about it carefully, Su Bai suddenly threw the Sea God Godhead fragment into the sea. The stronger, you should accept this Godhead shard, comprehend the laws in it, and avoid being targeted by the beasts of the outer gods. 39. That a large mouth of blood suddenly appeared in the ocean, and the Lord of the 4 Seas happily accepted the fragment of Godhead. Your pet Lord of the 4 Seas has swallowed Sea God fragments, with similar attributes, 99% fusion degree, and is digesting, has fallen into a deep sleep. It won't be indigestion. Seeing that the Lord of the 4 Seas fell asleep, Su Bai simply sent it back to the Tianyuan realm. In fact, the Lord of the 4 Seas has always followed the army to fight, but it took a long time all the way. I hope the 5th level and the Abyss mode are not too difficult. Su Bai felt a little uneasy about the lack of one of the strongest combat powers, but soon, his worries were washed away by the huge spoils. Thanks to the guidance of Godfather, the food brought by this special card, I am afraid that we can eat for 10 years. This fountain is not damaged. Hurry up and take it back. Hey, this pool is so beautiful and colorful, the water in it seems to be drinkable. Archbishop Alice, come and have a look. Exclamations came from the ruins of the Crystal Palace. Beihai and Wanqing were destroyed together. As for the spoils, there are dozens of boxes of treasures that can be used directly, such as pearls, sea cucumbers, and sea urchins, the 3 treasures that everyone was talking about just now. Even Ma Bai was moved. Fish outbreak. S+ grade food card. After use, there will be thousands of edible fish such as carp, crucian carp, grass carp, etc., which will form a fish tide in the sea. Magic music fountain. a special building that can be placed at home or in the world. Not only does the fountain have wonders at night, but it also automatically releases music to delight the body and mind. Special effects, pleasure plus 50, double the reproduction rate in a radius of 100 miles, double the probability of successful evolution, and the probability of birth of special creatures plus 10 times. Colorful aurora pool, it can be placed in an ocean to suppress the sea area and accelerate the purification of harmful substances in the entire world, improve the affinity of the water system of creatures all over the world, increase the water resistance of all marine creatures by 10%, increase the output of marine animals and plants by 5 times, and increase the probability of birth of special groups. Special effect, 1 ton of colorful holy water can be condensed every day, and even healing. Holy relics can promote evolution and development. It's very useful. If I were a water world, this wave would really be fat. While sighing, Su Bai carefully packed up these 3 treasures. Most of the sea has faded, it's time to rest again. When he adjusted the flow of time to meet the 5th level, there was a lot of discussion outside. Mei Wanqing left the stage and fell on the seabed temple in the 4th level. Strange, why did her red-clothed female ghost die when she was illuminated by the divine light? The female ghost seems to be the big boss of the ghostly shadow. How could she be captured by her? Unfortunately, the underwater world is not suitable for supernatural monsters. Mei Wanqing has a total score of 470,000, ranking 4th in Guangcheng. That when Mei Wanqing, who had black hair covering her face and was full of mystery, walked out of the world tower, there was a tsunami of applause from the venue. She was so frightened that a pair of curious eyes poked out of her black hair. Finally out, our great hero, there is a warm welcome from the teachers of a middle school. Is Xiao Shi still out? Mei Wanqing looked back at the standings, seeing the 2nd and 3rd places whose points were beating violently, he frowned. The 2nd place is still Shi Qianyan. Her points have reached 510,000. He is leading the water monsters and the snake girl Naga to attack the underwater dragon palace. All are difficult, the copies of the 2 encounters are also the same. Because of this, Mei Wanqing understood her power. Don't be discouraged, your world attributes are special, and the 4th stage is Shi Qianyan's home ground. If you change it to another stage, maybe you will perform better. I saw the proud disciple return. Principal Pang Qingshan personally comforted him. However, the 3rd Qi Lancer points are tight, and there are 507,000 points hit now. Qi Lancer's Yeti Legion also suffered heavy losses. The basic Yeti died a lot, and she was revived by her consumption of the power of the world, but as an elemental life, the snowman has an advantage. Even if you are seriously injured, you can quickly heal by filling in some snow and ice. In addition, Qi Lancer prepared a lot of materials for the resurrection of the snowman for the college entrance examination, and the world power consumed was much less. Logically, fight at sea, snowmen suffer, but I didn't expect that a few days ago. She communicated with Ma Bai, and the unexpected effect of the swordfish school happened. After a few days of cultivation, that group of swordfish evolved into an extraordinary race. The frost swordsman. Not only has the speed and attack been strengthened, but even the upper jaw has evolved into a frozen magic sword, carrying snowmen, riding the wind and waves all the way, made great contributions. Look, the temple that killed you has come out again. 9. Suddenly, Shi Qianyan and Qi Lancer both broke through the outer defense line of the undersea dragon palace after paying a huge price. The shrine glowed, a golden dragon soul rushed out and killed the quartet. This monster has the strength of intermediate gold, and it has the main field advantage. Generally speaking, it is comparable to high-level gold. As a first-hand experiencer, Mei Wanqing's words are very authoritative. Oops, even if Goddess Shi's water beasts evolve along the way, they can't stand the dragon soul. The students of number 1 middle school changed their colors. Sure enough, with the final boss appeared, the snake girl Naga was suppressed by her blood, and was strangled by the hordes of shrimp soldiers and crabs. More importantly, the leader of the snake girl Naga was also killed. Just one last step. Shi Qianyan gritted her teeth and used a whole card, which was a drop of magic water. Water droplets fell on the water beast, instantly making it crazy. A magic item worth 2 billion can double the strength of water creatures in a short period of time. 39. On the high platform, many bigwigs recognized it. After the madness, the water beast and the dragon soul fought to the death. The battle between the two has completely reduced the underwater dragon palace to ruins. The shrimp soldiers and crabs that are still resisting will be crushed to death one after another, soon after, with the help of the remaining snake girls. The water monster and the dragon soul perished together. Shi Qianyan's points also reached 580,000. It's over. 35. Looking at the men who suffered heavy casualties, Shi Qianyan sighed slightly. I saw that the projection of the sea and her world quickly dissipated, whether it is the corpse of the snake girl Naga, or the collapsed underwater dragon palace, it has disappeared as data, line-by-line tasks are settled and rewards are now in front of you. On the big screen, a line of numbers is drawn. Guangqing No. 1 Middle School Shi Qianyan has passed through the Nightmare 4 levels, with an additional reward of plus 10,000 points and a total of 590,000 points, temporarily ranking second in Guangqing. Battle. As the gate of the World Tower opens, Shi Qianyan walked out with a trace of regret in her eyes. Immediately, the atmosphere in the venue was ignited to a higher level. Hey, that little girl isn't dead yet. 5. But what everyone didn't expect was that Qi Lansu, who was listed as the number 2 dark horse, lasted longer than Shi Qianyan. The funny Snow King is riding the Swordfish King and is peaking with the Dragon Soul. Although Dragon Soul has the advantage of home court, but thanks to the Yeti Legion, the sea water in the Dragon Palace has frozen into ice. Chapter 100. Buying fairy beans, an olive branch of Jiangnan University, the governor wants to accept. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qi Lansu suddenly remembered something and said, "Hehe, are there any good ice cubes for drinking wine?" Ma Bai asked with a smile. Yes, those 1,000-year-old ice beads will not melt for a year at room temperature. Putting them in wine will enhance the flavor tenfold. My dad often asks me to produce them. Qi Lansu replied in doubt. Before the college entrance examination, I was rewarded with a bottle of super medicine. The wine works very well. When the time comes, you can bring ice beads and stories, and I will bring wine to taste it. The two of them agreed. Hanging up the phone, Su Bai, who was in excellent condition, opened the Creator Lord's house, study how to spend 20 billion, and put some unused souvenirs in Tianyuan realm for sale. A-grade large pearls, listed price, 500,000 apiece. S-class perfect pearl, because it is to be given away, it's just tentative. I hung 2, and the price is 5 million. In addition, there are coral trees, as well as some other pharmaceuticals, eye drops, medicinal materials and the like. Other materials are fine, slowly selling, but when the 2 large S-class pearls went online, they were immediately ordered, because there is a full range of information such as photos and information provided by the Alliance's main machine. There is no need to worry about fraud. Therefore, the buyer is also very relieved, and instead asks, "Is there still such a large pearl? It really has the same effect as you said, as many as you want." Only 2 were found by accident in an alien sea, Su Bai replied casually. Isn't the price set too low? He was slightly emotional. He turned to look at other shops. It may be because the audition has been completed, and the identity has been officially certified. There are also many more areas to browse. He was amazed by the many special products of the strange world. Even the crystal skulls from the Necronomicon world cost as much as 1 billion. There is also an unknown epic blood, which is even more expensive at 1 trillion. In his comments section, when someone commented that it was sky high, buyers also plausibly said, "If someone has strong skills and can rely on this bottle of epic blood to cultivate creatures with epic blood, the value will be more than trillions. I am afraid that a city will not be replaced." Thinking so, do you still think it is expensive? 5. Don't listen to the shopkeeper's deception. I also bought a bottle of Saint Rank blood from him, which I said had the essence of vitality, but when I brought it back to cultivate it, I found that it had been put on hold for 1,000 years. The spirituality in it has long since disappeared, and there are not even fragments of the law. It is pure waste, and everyone must not buy it. Victims show up. It's not that easy to pick up leaks. Su Bai laughed in the comment area. The mother machine can guarantee that it is indeed epic, but it cannot guarantee how. No matter what era, there are always counterfeit goods. In the observation world just now, Su Bai found out, at present, there are more than 1 million species in Tianyuanji, like dinosaurs and other big stomach kings, they are all calculated in millions. Even if the Tianyuan realm is far more abundant than other Tier 2 worlds, it is rich in products, it can't stand the consumption of millions of giant beasts. This problem has been identified when shellfish was released not long ago. There is a hidden danger of famine in the Tianyuan world. According to Alice's report, the main reason is that there is a lack of a staple food that can withstand production. Even the meat and potatoes she brought back from the zombie world can't support the output, and more giant beasts are coming. Take this into consideration. Su Bai specifically looked at the staple grain seeds. The food issue has always been a top priority. Among them, several superpowers of human beings, such as the House of Evolution and Life Association, have invested heavily in cultivation. Various types of mass-produced staple grain seeds are numerous from bottom to top. The lowest price is 100 million bottom. Su Bai glanced at it slightly, and almost felt that his eyes were not enough. How many zeros? 9 zeros, 10 zeros. Why don't they grab it? Sunshine rice, bronze-grade plant, yielding 10,000 caddies per mu. It is the staple food of a small country in the south. This is the mother seed, after purchase, can cultivate the seedlings. Price, 500 million blue star coins. Harvest millet, top bronze-level plants, yielding 20,000 caddies per mu. One plant can supply a bronze creature for 1 day. Selling price, 1 billion blue star coins. Among them, the familiar meat and potatoes are also seen. Meat potatoes, top bronze-level plants, with a yield of 50,000 caddies per mu. The advantage is that it is cheap and easy to use, and the requirements for soil quality and fertilizer are very low. Price, 1.1 billion blue star coins. I'm afraid it's not enough. If you want to buy it, buy the one with high energy, at least the silver level, and there are many gold leaders who also want to eat. Su Bai looked worriedly. As I browse, I feel more and more, my own 200 billion is not fragrant, still waiting to get some gear. With that in mind, buying 2 is all it takes. In his picking and picking, he chose a mother plant that has high requirements for biochemical fertilizers and a large yield, Xiendo, high-grade silver plant, with a yield of 200,000 caddies per mu. It was the seed that the Pantheon unexpectedly obtained when it went to war with the outside world. It can absorb all kinds of fertilizers, especially biochemical fertilizers. In particular, the tube is full, and there is a weak strengthening and healing effect. A single bean can be digested by a bronze creature for a day. In fact, it is the fetish of the creator of the sea tactics. Price, 4.9 billion blue star coins. The Pantheon again. Su Bai frowned, but fairy beans are really useful. Under the comment area is the experience of various buyers. It is indeed the most cost-effective staple food seed that NaN EP can currently access, and if you want to buy gold-level staple food, 20 billion is barely enough. Su Bai doesn't have to buy other babies anymore. NaN EP placed the order. Ding dong. You have successfully purchased Xiendo. The merchant will send it directly to your backpack by express. Please pay attention to check it. Note, please do not leak the seeds. Pantheon owns its absolute copyright. So high-tech. Su Bai flipped his backpack in surprise. Really found a golden bean. As a mother plant, there is only one. Su Bai didn't know what the actual effect was. Hurry back to Shanghai and summon Alice. As the times have advanced, productivity has exploded, and so has the population. Now even the ground has been dug out of the world. I have noticed that there is a lack of food among the various races. This fairy bean is handed over to you. Use the Aurora holy water to water it, cultivate the seedlings, and plant them all over the world. Su Bai handed the fairy beans to Alice. Eat more and pull more dinosaurs. It can't be wasted anymore. Be used as fertilizer. Thank you for your generosity, and I think everyone remembers your gift. Alice curiously held the fairy beans. However, this is only a temporary relief of the food crisis. At present, the number of dinosaurs alone exceeds 1 million. There are other large groups. The daily consumption of food is an astronomical amount. 5. If it weren't for the war dividend not long ago, and the help of infrastructure robots, the famine would have been staged. 99. in order to continue to increase the population, in addition to the staple food, more land is needed. The world's capacity is limited, and only by upgrading to Tier 3 can we nurture more powerhouses. Alice reminded cautiously. Su Bai heard the words and nodded. When you have completely digested the last war bonus and turned it into your own combat power, I will hold a world promotion mission. Real combat is no trivial matter, you should prepare in advance, and allow no loss. Yes, I will convey your will to all races. Alice left. Soon after, the leaders of the various tribes received a golden bean sprout. When they plant the bean sprouts in the land, the swamp, miraculous scene appeared. Bean sprouts not only have strong survivability, but are not afraid of many harmful substances. It can also take root in the Gobi Desert. What's more, after fertilization, the golden beans produced are very hungry. Full of energy, with a hint of physical improvement, bringing many food-strapped races into a population explosion at once. Dinosaurs team up with Quatus. In the offshore field, around the coastline, a large number of peas are grown. The number of dinosaurs also began to double. With more bases, the chance of a genius being born is naturally much higher. Under the leadership of the bishops, all ethnic groups who enjoyed the benefits prayed to heaven, thanks for the gift of the Creator. Important log: you gave everyone a divine seed named Xiendo, which solved the food crisis, doubled the number of various ethnic groups, and more powerhouses were born as a result. At the same time, under your will, Alice conveyed to the bishops that there will be a plain war related to the promotion of the world. The demand for land and territory of all ethnic groups has reached the limit, and they are all sharpening their knives in secret, ready to give it a shot. Reminder: your believers held a Thanksgiving ceremony, with plus 10,000 faith. Currently has a total of divine power, 5 drops. Spend 5 billion to relieve it, and later, when the land expands, the pressure will be less. 99. Taking back his gaze, Su Bai glanced at the remaining 15.1 billion. I feel that making money is hard, spending money is easy. I turned my head and thought, these 15 billion were given to me by others, and my mentality is much better. 99, or convert them into combat power. Su Bai thought so. Go to the store dedicated to the Creator to rummage for treasures. Get ready to add some equipment to yourself, but everything prepared for the Creator is not cheap. Many of them cannot be bought with money. Su Bai has been greedy for the halo of God for a long time, and now he can't afford it. Just when he was picking, the doorbell rang. It's not another newspaper, is it? Su Bai frowned and opened the door to look over. It turned out that it was a young man in a suit and spectacles brought by Mr. Li, the head teacher. Mr. Li, why are you here? Su Bai opened the door and greeted him a little surprised. I won't bother you if I have nothing to do. This is an admissions teacher from Jiangnan University. After hearing about your deeds, I must come to see you. Mr. Li was a little embarrassed and said. He is my classmate, and there is really no way to come here. 99. The young teacher politely reached out and shook hands with Ma Bai, smiled and said. Hello, classmate Su, the champion of the province. I'm Zhang Su from Jiangnan No. 1 Middle School. It's my shameless face, so I asked Mr. Li to bring me to meet you. Would it be convenient for you to go in and have a chat? Su Bai nodded slightly. The three of them just sat on the sofa. Zhang Su said straight to the point. I don't know if Su has any ideas about which university to study in. It's just the beginning, and the more you go, the more choices you have. I want to try my best to get a good ranking, and the goal is the top 10 schools. 35. Bother you for something? Su Bai naturally guessed his intention and said it bluntly. Zhang Su was obviously prepared for this answer, smiled and said. I can understand your ambition. After all, it is the second in the country, and Tianji province has not achieved such good results in the past 20 years. 39. However, the Jiangnan University I represent is the best college in the province. It concentrates the resources of hundreds of universities. Even in the national rankings, it is not low. More importantly, as the highest institution based in the country, every as a high-achieving student, as long as he graduates, he can arrange a job in his hometown. As long as you want, you can even serve as the county magistrate of Guangqing after graduation, and even the governor of the surrounding 10 cities. I have no interest in being an official. Mr. Zhang, I know what you mean, but the college entrance examination is not over yet. It's still too early to talk about it. I want to climb to the top and see the best scenery. Su Bai shook his head. Hearing this, Zhang Su sighed. The brain drain has been a bit serious in recent years. To be honest, I came here this time because of the governor's intentions. The governor? Su Bai and Teacher Li both looked over. That is the #1 person in Tianji province. Even the city lord of Jiangnan city would bow his head in front of him. Such a big man pays attention to himself so early. Facing Ma Bai's doubts, Zhang Su smiled. Well, classmate, don't think too much. The governor came here to show that he valued talents. You also know that in recent years, many major forces have tried their best to win over talents, and their intentions are not small. The governor asked me to come here, not only to make you choose Jiangnan University, but more importantly, to ensure that you are not attracted by other private universities. If you choose Jiangnan University now, we will not only provide you with 100 billion worth of resources and contribution value, but the governor will accept you as a direct disciple and fully guide your world operations. This sincerity is not lacking, although it is said that Ma Bai is the second in the audition, but at best he is only a second-order world master who has just turned positive. What the future holds is uncertain. People can invest so much resources. It can also let the top leaders in the province be accepted as disciples to guide, has been given great importance, but Su Bai said regretfully. Thanks to the governor for your attention, but I just want to sprint for the college entrance examination, and I don't want to join any forces. And I am also a member of the system, although it is relatively peripheral. But I will definitely not join some ulterior motives. Please rest assured. He made his intentions clear. Mr. Li sat between the two of them and glanced at them awkwardly. Fortunately for her, the old classmate was not angry, just smiled heartily. Since classmate Su wants to do his best to prepare for the battle, we naturally don't want to bother. 35. I have come all the way from the countryside, and I know that it is not easy for ordinary people to rise. What geniuses are most afraid of is falling into various temptations in the middle. Seeing the attitude of my classmates, I am relieved. He suddenly took out a CD from his briefcase and said with a smile. This is the information of all the top students who have been promoted in the 100 cities of Tianji province, including the provincial capital. It may be useful to you. It is a thank you gift for me taking the liberty to come here. What's so funny about that? 9.as Su Bai said. He put away the CD. This stuff is good stuff. Know thyself, ever victorious, knowing other people's world. There is a targeted plan. After saying this, Zhang Su and Teacher Li left. Before leaving, Zhang Su also reminded Ma Bai. Soon others contacted him through various means. Let Su Bai get ready, and even go to other places to take refuge. There is a warning from the prefect of Arima. There shouldn't be people who don't have long eyes, right? Su Bai muttered to himself and closed the door, but did not expect. Zhang Su's arrival is like a fuse. I don't know if other forces and people in colleges and universities are stimulated by him. By various means, the 8 immortals crossed the sea and contacted him like they showed their magical powers, or by text message or phone call, or through classmates, or even teachers to visit, among them, Manager Fong. On behalf of the Emperor Enterprise Group, came to discuss IP cooperation. He also said that a cooperation agreement has been signed with Qi Lansu. A series of business plans will be developed around Snow King. Su Bai called to ask and found out that it was true. However, he is not very interested in these IPs and business plans. It's a pity that your dinosaurs are powerful, especially the leader. If you can make a Jurassic Park, it will be a big hit. Manager Fong regretfully took the people away. After that, even Gao Hongwen from the prestigious Life Association and Jianheng from the Evolution House came to visit, named or buys Lisan Pitaman, as well as other leaders. He also said, you can pay whatever you want, and we will never bargain. The high-level leaders are very interested in several leaders you have never met, and think they are worth researching. To this, Ma Bai directly blasted them away. If it wasn't for the two of them carrying a box of the latest researched genetic medicine as a gift, they couldn't even get in the door. Through the understanding on the Genesis Center group chat, only then did Su Bai know. It wasn't just him that had this kind of thing happen to him, but all the top 10 players have been attracted. Among them, Deng Shi and Du Yan had already joined Jiangnan University in advance.